Hello and welcome to Lesson 7 of Software Design and Development for National 5 Computing Science. Last time we were here, we did selection constructs using simple conditions, and we combined it with complex conditions using and, or, and not, the three logical operators. The program we made was this one. We asked the user if they wanted to join Computing Club. If their answer was yes with a small y or yes with a capital Y, we then asked for their age, then if they had permission from their parents. If their age was over 18 and they had permission, we then asked them to enter a password. If the password did not equal computing, we told them to buzz off. Otherwise, we told them welcome to the club. If they weren't over 15 and they had permission, we printed unlucky, try again next year. So we made use of multiple comparisons, we made use of all the logical operators, and we nested some if statements as well. Very good. And in every video I keep saying you need to practice, practice, practice. That's how you get good. So here's what you're going to do. This is your practice. Let's look at this problem specification. This is your challenge. You have to create a program that will calculate the cost of ordering face masks. Very current topics here. Each face mask costs £1.50, but there are discounts for bulk buying. If you order fewer than 10, you get no discount, but ordering between 10 and 20 face masks gets you 10% discount. Ordering more than 20 face masks gets you 20% discount. Display the final total to the user. So what I want you to do, think about this problem, try and formulate your solution and write the program that will ask the user how many face masks they're ordering. It will apply a discount to the total cost and display the final total to the user. Give it a go, think about that, and I'll show you the solution in 5 seconds. I said show you the solution. I'm going to work you through the solution. So first of all, we need to ask them, how many face masks do you want? So first off, we're going to ask the user for the quantity of face masks that they want to purchase. This has to be an integer because you cannot order half a face mask. It has to be whole numbers. We're going to get the answer from the keyboard. Enter the number you'd like to buy. That'll do. Enter the number you'd like to buy. The number, the amount, the quantity. So what we can do now, we can figure out the total, the subtotal, before we apply a discount. So let's say subtotal equals the quantity times the cost per face mask. Now it's £1.50, but we're just going to do 1.5 because it's the same as adding the 0 on the end. Okay, next up, what we want to do is say if the quantity is less than 10, then what? Then nothing. So the total is just equal to the subtotal. This is just going by following the instructions and saying if you order fewer than 10. So if we order fewer than 10, the subtotal equals the total. There's no discount. Then we can check between 10 and 20, getting 10% discount. So what we could say is we could say if quantity is greater than or equal to 10 and quantity is less than or equal to 20, then the total is going to be equal to the subtotal times 0.9 because that's a 10% discount. Remember, there are many ways to calculate percentages or to remove a percentage from a total. This is my favorite way, to multiply it by a number between 0 and 1 depending on what the percentage is. Or if we're adding a percentage to it, let's say we were increasing the cost by 20%, we could do 1.2. That increases it by 20%. But here we're taking off 10%, so 0.9. And then finally, ordering more than 20 face masks gets you 20% discount. So we could do this similar thing here. If quantity is greater than 20, then the total equals the subtotal times 0.8. Then at the end, we just need to print a message saying your total cost is, I'll add a pound sign here, and we'll concatenate the string version of the total to the end. Let's see if this works. We'll run it. And let's say I want to buy 5 face masks. £7.50. 5 times 1.5, £7.50. We're getting no discount because it's less than 10. That looks right. It looks perfect. Other than a 0 not being added to the end. But we'll get to that later. Let's say we're ordering between 10 and 20. Let's say 15. Oops. £20.25. Is that correct? Well, let's just double check. Let's do the maths ourselves. So 15 times 1.5 is £22.50. This is £20.25. That's because we're multiplying it by 0.9. £20.25. Perfect. And let's test it if we're ordering more than 20. Let's say we're ordering 30 face masks. £36 exactly. Oh, sounds good. All right, let's do the maths on that one. what are we doing? 30 times 1.5. 30 times 1.5. So this is the subtotal. We multiply that by 0.8 to take off 20%. 36. Perfect! What a beast. This program is perfect. Or is it? I mean, we've tested it and it works, but could we improve this? Well, there are a number of improvements we could make. Number one, we're using separate if statements. If we are ordering less than 10, and we find out that yes, we are ordering less than 10, do we need to check if the quantity is greater than 10 or if it's greater than 20? We don't need to check that. So using separate if statements is no bueno. We need to make it more efficient by joining these together. So instead of separate if statements, they're joined together using elif, the else if. So this program will work in exactly the same way as before, but we're saving ourselves some processor time by not making the processor do multiple comparisons multiple times just because we use separate if statements. We get the correct answers, but behind the scenes it's more efficient. Here's another question. If the quantity is not less than 10, and the quantity is not between 10 and 20, what must the quantity be? It must be greater than 20. So we don't need to check this. The processor will come to this line, and it will say, nope, not less than 10. It'll come to this line, and it'll say, okay, it's not greater than or equal to 10 and less than 20. It's actually greater than 20. So we don't need to check this, but the processor's doing it anyway. So we can make this more efficient by using an else. Now, is this as efficient as it gets? Not yet. This middle one here is checking two things. Now, if we get to this point, we already know that our quantity is not less than 10. If the quantity is less than 10, the program would execute this line of code and it would skip the rest of the if statement and go to the next line that was unindented. So because we get to this line at all, we know that the quantity is not less than 10. So we know it's not less than 10, and if a quantity is not less than 10, that means it must be 10 or more. So we don't need to check this quantity if it's greater than or equal to 10, because it must be. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here in the first place. So we can get rid of this section of the if statement. So we've reduced one more thing that the processor is checking. So if the quantity is less than 10, we give no discount. If it's less than 20, less than or equal to 20, we give 10%. Otherwise, we'll give 80%. So this program is about as efficient as we can make it, following the instructions in the order that we were given them. There are ways that you could make it slightly more efficient, but I'm going to leave that up to you. See if you can figure that one out. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions for how to make this a better program. So there you go. If statements. We've done it in a couple of different ways. We used a complex condition initially, but we thought more efficient to not use a complex condition. Save the processor a wee bit of time. Let me know what you thought. Have fun practicing. Remember, practice, 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 and I'll see you in the next one.